You're getting to be a big boy.
I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more. I like exploring. I'm Caillou.
All right, time to watch a brand new series from the Game of Thrones universe. You know, this franchise actually was better off when they had Bella Ramsey on it.
I got a viewpoint for you. How about this, huh? What do you think of this viewpoint? That's my butt cheeks right there. I almost fell off the chair. A little wobbly.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Game of Thrones. This one's going to be doing my very first review for the pilot of a brand new Game of Thrones spin-off series. This is called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms by the Game of Thrones universe. And George R. R. Martin as well too. Okay. What the hell did I just get done watching? This was 41 minutes of time I will never get back. I will never get this time back in my life. I did not expect that. My initial reaction to this, and this might be controversial. Now, keep in mind, I have never read the books. I've never read anything to do with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I am just a show viewer jumping into this from that perspective. I have no other ties or connections or anything. I have no idea. I went into this knowing two things. It was Sir Duncan the Cole, which is a knight, right? And he's kind of, you know, on his own adventure in this. And he acquires this kid named Egg, who's bald for some reason, and they are basically traveling the world together. It's like a Joel and Ellie type of situation, except, though, this kid's a dude. Well, you know, you got, you know, Sir Duncan the Cole that's a knight, and it's basically like a medieval version of Joel and Ellie. That is basically what we're watching here. And, you know, I must admit, in the first few minutes of it, I was actually really interested. It starts off, you see him, he's digging a grave, he's burying somebody, and you see this old guy that's like, you know, in the hole, right? And he's burying his trainer, right? That, you know, taught him how to be a knight and taught him how to, you know, do all these things and stuff like that. And I was like, man, like, this is really cool. Like, this is cool. You know, he's burying, you know, the guy that taught him everything. And now he has to go out there and you know, remember what the guy taught him and remember what he does. Well, no, by the way, we take a pause real quick to take a shit. That's right. We take a fucking big old fat stinky fucking slobbery shit as we see him pointing his ass out in the fucking corner like this, fucking pointing his ass down like, oh yeah, oh, you know, and he's fucking taking a big old freaking shit. As if that's how you want to start your goddamn series. Like, what the fuck? Listen, I know that this show has a comedy vibe to it, okay? I was well aware of it jumping in. That they were going to do a comedy element, a comedy type of thing, and it was going to be, like, serious stuff with comedy stuff here and there. Here's the problem. I don't care how funny you think your show is. I don't care how funny you think this is going to be. I don't care what fucking book it's based off of or any of that horse shit, okay? You mean to tell me that you are going to start your first 5 minutes of your series in a serious setting by a guy taking a shit? What fucking drugs are they on with that? I did not have to see bro pointing his ass out, taking a big old stinky shit in my face in the first 5 minutes. So I was instantly out. I was like, okay, I don't care. I just met this fucking guy. Why the fuck am I going to want to sit there and watch him take a big old shit? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, okay, we get a title card. So there's no intro for this show. It's just a title card. You see the fucking, you know, logo there, and that's basically it. And, well, basically after that, we basically see him kind of making his travels. He meets Egg for the first time. Now this I liked. I liked the dialogue between them, and I think that is actually the strongest element of this show so far. If I have to highlight one thing I really liked, I like the interaction between Sir Duncan and Egg. I like that they both talked about how they both lost a mother, how they both have been through a lot of bad stuff, and how they can kind of identify with each other because they were both orphans in a way. I like that. That's really cool. And I think that the dynamic is good. I actually think the actors so far have good chemistry. I'm gonna give it that. I think they do. That might be a controversial one, but I think the actors did a good enough job. It felt like a real knight that was not really sure where his place was, and it felt like a legitimate kid that really didn't have anything else to do. It felt real, and I'm going to give the show credit that. I think it did a really good job. Because I think it made it feel like a real knight and a real kid. So I'm good with that. I think it felt real, it felt immersive, and I will say, the music, as usual, on point. The music, amazing. And the visuals with them riding and stuff, top notch. Absolutely loved it. Now, this gets to the segment of the episode that I really they were starting to lose me, is when he visits this guy with the horns on his head and shit like that. Now, I did catch, apparently this is a Baratheon, okay? So that's a little connection to the original show there. It is a Baratheon. Now, obviously, keep in mind, this is 100 years before Game of Thrones, so it is a long time before that. So, you get a Baratheon in there. Pretty cool, but the character was kind of just weird. He was dancing around with Sir Duncan, and they're kind of sharing some jokes, and he gets up on the table and this and that. He tries to do a big speech in front of everybody, but he forgets his words. It felt like forced comedy to me. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think Sir Duncan, like those little moments where, like, he hits his head walking out of that room, you know what I mean? Or he trips while he's walking, or he says something random, or, stuff like that. That's fine, because I feel like I'm watching a real human being that wouldn't be able to just be dead serious all the time. You know what I mean? So I think in that element, the comedy works. And I will applaud that. The comedy works in that respect. It's this other stuff, like with the guy in that meeting when, like, he's sitting there talking to Sir Duncan, and every 2 minutes he's like, like that type of shit. It's not funny. You're not making me laugh. It's not funny at all. It's just stupid shit. And they kept doing, like, every few minutes, Sir Duncan's trying to get this guy to pay attention to me. He's like, like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like I'm trying to get into the scene, and you keep, like, seriously, like, what the hell is happening? Like, I don't know. That shit took me out of it. That shit really took me out of it. And, from then on, basically, we've got, like, these women that are talking to him, and this, and he meets back up with Egg. And the big goal here is that they're going to King's Landing, apparently. So, I doubt we're going to see King's Landing in this. But, of course, they make that connection because, you got to keep the viewers hooked somehow, And they kept showing flashbacks with his trainer, like, screaming, getting something pulled out of his leg. I think that was supposed to be like the moment he died or something. That was alright. But I don't know. All I watched was a dude dance, shit, talk to some kid. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this. You know what I mean? I'm not leaving with any extra information. It just feels like a minimum, just bare minimum type of thing. If this is what the books are like, then I don't know. I think this is a massive step down for this franchise compared to House of the Dragon, which I gave a 10 out of 10 for the pilot. I gave it a 10 out of 10 because it was well told. It felt grounded, serious, and on par. And I've seen good comedy TV shows. The fact that it's a comedy, like a half comedy, is not the problem I have. The problem is that there's moments where I'm trying to get into a scene, and the guy keeps fucking, like, he keeps fucking doing that, and it's seriously like, and then, like, did I need to watch Sir Duncan Nicole take a fucking shit at the beginning? Like, I did not need to see his shit. I did not need to see the brown shit rumming from his ass right on the fucking tree as he's sitting there like, ugh, Like, I don't need to see that bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, what? Him taking a shit is supposed to be funny? Like, guys, listen. Somebody go to comedy club school or something and get some funnier jokes, because those minor moments where he's sitting around, he hits his head, the little banter he has with the kid, that stuff is fine. You know what I mean? That's good comedy. But this other bullshit where he's, like, taking a shit, or the guy's fucking, hollering this and that, like, it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. So I would say this is the most disappointing start to a Game of Thrones journey I've ever seen. While I don't think it's dog shit, right? Yeah. it just wasn't my thing. I'm gonna tune in for the next 5 weeks because I know y'all want me to, you know, check this out. And frankly, I want to see where it goes. I want to see if it gets better, you know what I mean? But as a pilot episode, I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. And the only reason I'm giving it a 5 is because I do like the interactions with him and the kid. I think they feel, you know, authentic enough, but I don't like the writing so far. I don't think the comedy's landing, and I don't think it feels as big as the other shows. And not that it needs to be. It feels like they're trying to be funny. And that's when I'm just like, you know, I don't know. So, not my cup of tea. I will try it next week, see if there's something else to it now that they're on the road, now that, you know, the adventure's kind of moving. But for now, I'm watching Sir Duncan take a shit, him talk with some women, and some bald kid. I don't fucking know. So, okay, that's what I got for y'all this week. That's what I got for the review of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you all for the one next week. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.